Namaskar. Today we are going to learn about the Berlo's model of communication. So what's a model? A model is a graphic or a simplistic depiction of a concept so as to make it easier to be understood. So what is the model of communication? Why communication is done? And which are the different aspects of communication that are to be taken care? This is one of the most simplistic model which has been given by David K. Berlo in the year 1960, and we are going to study about it. So he is Mr. David Berlo, and David Kenneth Berlo was an American communication theorist. He taught in Michigan State University and later served as the president of Illinois State University. So Berlo's communication model is also called as the SMCR. S is source, M is message, C is channel, and R is receiver. So SMCR model, which was developed by him in the year 1960, and it explains communication as a simple linear process with four main components. So simple and linear means like there is no feedback loop, as you can see here. So he says that S means source, so somebody is speaking about it. M is a message. Message means, of course, a particular topic is being spoken about with some content to it, with a particular structure. Then a particular channel, a particular sensory channel is being used. It may be the vision, it may be the hearing, it may be the touch, it may be the smell. And there is a receiver who should be equally competent as the sender, so that both of them can understand the message which is being exchanged. So these are a few things which have been taken care in this particular model known as the SMCR model or the Berlo's model. So here is the simplistic pictographic depiction of the Berlo's model of communication. So let's understand the first point, that is the source or the center or the sender. The person or the organization that creates or sends message is known as the source, and it is very important that we prefer to hear something. For example, I'm speaking about a theory of communication because I'm a speech language pathologist, or if somebody who is a mass media communicator, if he speaks about it, many of them would be interested in listening to it because the person who is speaking about it is having some amount of knowledge about it. So very important that whosoever is speaking should be having some amount of knowledge. The second thing is the communication skills. So just having the knowledge is not enough. It is important to convey the thoughts, which is to be conveyed in a very appropriate and a structured way. And this conveying should be in a very socially and culturally appropriate way. So it's very essential that whatever is being said by a person who knows about the subject, and it is said in a way that it is culturally and socially acceptable. So these are a few things which are to be taken care by the sender. Next part of the entire model is the message. The message or the information or the idea which is being communicated. It will have elements like the content, the structure, the code, and the treatment. So whatever I am speaking, for instance, at this point of time, should have some content, which means that I'm talking about the Berlo's model. So I should be speaking about the Berlo's model in a very crisp manner. So everything should be covered. Who is Berlo? What he said? What are the meaning of the different parts of the model? How it is implied finally. So the content should be there at least. The second thing is that there should be a structure to it. I begin with the introduction, say something about it, take the model holistically, then explain the parts. So there should be a structure to it, and then finally say these are the challenges, and this is the conclusion and how we have to apply for it. The third part is the language or the symbols which is being used. So I should be using a particular language. Now I'm using English, or I may use another language, Hindi, in which I will be communicating the thing. Furthermore, there should be a treatment to it. When I'm doing a presentation, this is a formal presentation for BSLP students or mass media communication students. So it should have some formal touch-up so that it is like a input which is given by a teacher. So the treatment or the style of presentation also is essential. So the second part is, the first part is the source, the second part is the message, the third part is the channel. So how am I reaching you? Am I reaching you auditorily, visually, tactile ways, smell, touch, etc., etc. For instance, in this instance, if you are hearing me, then it's the auditory channel which is being exploited. If you are seeing the presentation and hearing me, then it is both the auditory and the visual channel. When I'm in a classroom teaching about this, I may be using the tactile method also, in which I may make a model, I may show it to people, I may ask them to write down the notes, I may ask them to actually turn out the pages of the books and find in other references and show me that, okay, this is the model, etc., etc. So, the channel may vary depending upon where this particular subject is being conveyed and what is the group. And the fourth part is the receiver. The receiver also should be having some amount of skills, should be having some amount of aptitude. A positive attitude or a negative attitude entirely changes the communication. Prior knowledge, the person should be knowing about it. Culture and socio-economic background. So both the receiver and the sender should be having a set of things in common at least, which would be the attitude. The speaker should be having the attitude to speak and the listener should be having the attitude to listen to it. The knowledge base, because the topic is being told based upon some knowledge base which should be common amongst the sender and the receiver. The culture and the socio-economic background, both of them should be respecting both of them. So when all these four domains are addressed to appropriately, then Berlo says that the communication goes very smooth and fluid. In case any of these are affected, the communication will not be smooth. So, a very simplistic model. What are the merits of it? All the elements of communication are very systematically and straightforward explained. It's a very linear process, 1, 2, 3, 4. It describes the communication process in a very simplistic way, easy to remember. What are the demerits? Communication is not that simple. It is an active ongoing process where a feedback loop is very essential. I cannot keep speaking anything and everything because communication is a two-way process. So a linear loop, a linear model does not suffice communication. The second thing is that this particular model doesn't talk about the distraction and the noise which is there, which is essential. Most of the communication model were models which were used either to transmit audio, transmit the radio impulses, or man-machine communication. So they were very much concerned about the noise, disturbances which are there. So it doesn't talk about the noise, doesn't talk about the feedback. And this model doesn't say where this will apply. Will it apply in a one-to-one situation, in a one-to-many situation, in a man-machine communication situation, or everywhere? And finally, it assumes that the sender and the receiver should be having many things in common, which practically many times is not possible. So these are the few